So welcome to Middlesbrough, northeast England, the town where I was born and lived until I was 18 and went to university. I lived in a suburb about 4 miles away called Marton Manor, which famously is the birthplace of Captain Cook, the explorer. But let's have a walk around and see some of the sights of Middlesbrough, some of which will be familiar to me and some which will be brand new. Let's go. This is my first stop, and it has to be Middlesbrough Town Hall. This is one of the largest Gothic town halls built in England, and as well as its civic duties, it's also a venue for like comedians and for bands. I think David Bowie here played in the 1970s, Iron Maiden played here in the early 80s, and even Oasis came in the 1990s. And to be honest, I've never really noticed how absolutely beautiful this building looks until now. What an impressive and historical building the town hall is. A testament to how important and affluent Middlesbrough was back in the day. The town was founded in 1830 on the back of coal and iron. In fact, at one point it was known as Ironopolis, and then it moved on to steel, which lasted all the way through the 1970s and 80s before it went into decline. But actually, some of the steel manufactured in Middlesbrough was used on the Sydney Harbour Bridge. And just on the other side of the town hall is this called Fountain Square. I'm pretty sure when I was younger and lived here, this wasn't here. And over there is where I'm going to go next. It's the Central Library, and I remember spending hours there during my A-levels researching information about Gandhi with some of my fellow students. But look at this statue. Sir Samuel Sadler. He was a member of the town council in the 19th century and a member of parliament. One day I came out from my revision and my bike had been stolen. That was a bad day. And in case you're wondering why there's not many people about, it's because it's Sunday, it's January, and it's bloody freezing. John Vaughan, Mayor of Middlesbrough, discovered iron in the Cleveland Hills. So he's one of the ones who brought riches to Middlesbrough. And I'm heading to a building now that definitely didn't exist when I was here. This, MIMA, Middlesbrough Institute of Modern Art. Let's go in. Hi, and it says it's free entry. Let's go. Here we go. Already I'm impressed. Back there you can see the cooling towers and the chemical factories of what was once a huge ICI chemical plant. I think my dad worked there at some point. Oh my God, Lowry. He painted something in Middlesbrough. Look at that. St Hilda's Church and the old town hall. Not the one that we've just seen. Gail Henderson, self-portrait. Gotta be done. Middlesbrough. Here we are. So from the roof terrace, I'm going to give you two interesting facts about my hometown of Middlesbrough. Due to the iron and coal works back in the day, the locals became known as smog monsters or smoggies. It's a term you still hear every now and again. No one's ever called me that though. And the other interesting fact is, during World War II, Middlesbrough was the first major town to be bombed by the Germans. They obviously wanted to disrupt the steelworks and the trains that were carrying that. And look at this area just outside, with all the ducks and the swans. And just opposite the MIMA is this, the Bottle of Notes. The outside of it's made from steel, representing Middlesbrough's steel heritage, but it's made up of individual letters, and those letters are part of Captain Cook's first diary entry as he sailed around the Pacific Ocean. How ingenious is that? That swan's just standing on the ice. Jesus, look how cold it is. You can tell there now. Hello. Yeah, I know, it's freezing. What a good thing you're doing, feeding the swans. Do you come every day?
Sometimes, because I've been dealing with a mouth infection.
Right, fair enough.
So I only come now and again.
Nice job though, yeah, good one. They're all here, aren't they? Look at them all. Good. Yeah, good effort. So he's telling me that teenagers come take the bricks from there and chuck them in here. Look at that. But this is a true Middlesbrough gent. See you later, mate. Thank you. See you later. There you go. Right, I'm heading down this road because there seems to be a church, but on the map, Google Maps, it doesn't say it's a church. So maybe it's been converted into something else. But anyway, I'm gonna have a look at it. Right, I've made it, and it's called St. John the Evangelist, even though it's not on the map.
Well, we've had a baptism
Oh, I see.
this morning,
All right,
so
thank
that's
you.
why we're still here.
All right, thank you. Wow.
Are you visiting?
Sorry?
Are you visiting?
Well, do you know what? I was born in Middlesbrough, but I've not been here for like years, like probably 30 years. So I just come back and had a look at it, see what's around. But I've never been here, even when I was, you know, lived here. But yeah, what a nice little stop. What a nice, friendly woman. So I'm walking now to Middlesbrough Empire, which was an old music hall built in 1897. And back in the day, believe it or not, people like Charlie Chaplin, Laurel and Hardy played in this venue. And even more recently, the Arctic Monkeys have played here. But I found out where all the people in Middlesbrough are. They're all in that bloody pub, the Pig Iron. It's packed. All old guys watching the football. So I've moved on to the iconic Transporter Bridge. It was built in 1911 and it's one of only two operational, although not quite operational right now, transporter bridges in the world. How it works is, and I used to use it back in the day, you drive onto like a gondola type thing there suspended on the bridge and it would carry you across. It could hold 200 people, foot passengers, and 9 cars. And my mum one day told me a story that she used to cross this every day to go to work as a foot passenger, but one day it had broken down, so she had to climb up one of the legs and go across the top, all in a mini skirt. Unfortunately nowadays the bridge is closed since last year, actually 2022, because apparently one of the legs is sinking and it's causing stress on the steel structure. Funding's an issue. Hopefully Middlesbrough or Teesside Council will not let this iconic site of Teesside go to rack and ruin. What a shame if this disappears. So I'm just near Middlesbrough Port and the Riverside Stadium where Middlesbrough Football Club play. But here it is, Temenos. It was built in 2010 and it cost I think a couple of million quid. Look at it. It's meant to be one of 5 huge art installations in this area, like one in Middlesbrough, this one in Stockton, Hartlepool, Darlington. But this is the only one that's been built so far, and it appears funding has stopped. If all 5 of them had been completed, this would have been the biggest art installation in the world. And believe it or not, down there, I don't know if you can see it, there's a seal. Hello. I must have driven past this hundreds of times and I've never ever noticed it. Look how beautiful that is. National, Provincial, and now Borough 4, Gibson House. Our bank building designed by John Gibson. And just opposite, some more blue signs. What do they say? Cleveland Buildings. These buildings were formerly the homes of Middlesbrough's pioneering ironmasters. So these buildings behind me, just opposite that bank building, are known as the Queen's Parade. built for the Victorian elite of Middlesbrough. Well, look at them now, they're almost derelict. What a sad state of affairs for Middlesbrough. What is going on? So, I'm here because there's a statue here that, like that other building I've probably passed hundreds of times, but I've never ever looked at it until now. HWF Balco. And I've just read on Wikipedia that he was a Victorian industrialist, a member of Parliament, and he's acknowledged as being one of the founders of modern Middlesbrough. There you go. It's actually weird being here because all these buildings, and that one over there, I used to go drinking in them back in the day when I was a teenager. I was always in that place there. I think it was called the Exchange. How times change. So I've just come to the main shopping parade of Middlesbrough, a place I know really well because as a kid my mum and my dad sometimes paraded me down here with my brothers to go shoe shopping. We always had to go into the same shop and buy the same type of shoes that always caused the same type of pain on my feet. So yeah, I remember this place well, although some of the shops have closed down, like this House of Fraser and Debenhams, but this is really familiar. Oh my God, the actual shoe shop still exists. Charles Clinkard. This is where they used to buy all those bloody shoes. So that's it. My little wander around Middlesbrough. A little trip of nostalgia for me. But I hope you found some things useful if you ever decide to visit this town in the northeast of England. See you next time.